My grandmother used to say a single housefly can lay her eggs on your kitchen counter, fly out the window, and be dead of old age before those eggs even hatch. And by then, you've got 300 more flies in your house. 300. From one fly. And she was right. Most folks don't realize the fly buzzing around your porch light isn't just annoying. It's a walking petri dish, and it's already found a way inside your home whether you've seen it yet or not. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how my family dealt with flies long before anybody ever heard of a bug zapper, and a couple of modern tricks the old-timers would have loved, if they'd had them. Here's the thing nobody tells you about flies. They're not just gross, they're dangerous. A housefly can carry over 100 different pathogens on its body, picking up bacteria from garbage, from manure, from roadkill, and then landing right on your sandwich, your baby's bottle, your kitchen counter. Every single time it lands, it's basically wiping its feet on your food. And once they're in your house, they multiply fast. A female fly can lay 500 eggs in her short lifetime, and in warm weather, those eggs go from egg to adult fly in about a week. A week. That's why you can go from, "Oh, there's one fly," to, "Why does my kitchen sound like a beehive?" in no time flat. Now, most people reach for the store-bought stuff. The sprays that make your whole house smell like a chemical plant. The sticky ribbons hanging from your ceiling that catch maybe 6 flies and look terrible doing it. Or those pricey electric zappers that just click and pop all day, sending fly parts flying. Which, by the way, is its own kind of gross when it's happening over your kitchen table. And here's what the big companies don't really advertise. A lot of these products are treating the symptom, not the source. You're killing the flies that already made it inside, but you're doing nothing about the flies breeding right outside your door, in your trash cans, in your compost pile. So you spray, you swat, you hang your sticky ribbons, and next week, there's a whole new batch. Your grandparents didn't have any of that fancy stuff, and honestly, they didn't need it. They understood something most of us have forgotten. You don't fight flies one at a time inside your house. You stop them before they ever get through the door. That's the whole secret. And I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do both, dealing with the flies already inside and cutting off the ones trying to get in. Let's start inside your home, because that's usually where the complaining starts. The old farmhouse trick was always some kind of bait station. Something sweet or something rotten sitting out to lure flies away from your food and your family, so they'd gather in one spot instead of scattering all over your kitchen. These days, you can build a version of that same idea using something called Alpine Fly Bait, and it works on exactly the same principle your great-grandmother would recognize. Give the flies something so irresistible they can't help themselves. Here's how you set it up. Take a piece of laminated paper. An old placemat works great. Or you can laminate an index card at home for pennies. Spray the Alpine Fly Bait right onto that laminated surface. The lamination matters here, because it keeps the bait contained and easy to wipe clean later, instead of soaking into cardboard or paper you'd have to throw away. Once you've got your bait card ready, think about where flies actually gather in your home. Above your doorways, on top of your refrigerator, near your windows, where the light draws them in, around your garbage cans, obviously, since that's basically a dinner bell for a fly. Set your bait cards in those spots, up high, out of the way, where they'll do their work quietly. The flies land, they feed, and within a short time they're gone. You're not swatting. You're not chasing them around with a rolled-up newspaper. You're just letting nature, and a little bit of chemistry, do the work while you go about your day. One more trick here. You don't always need the laminated card. Alpine Fly Bait can also be sprayed directly onto hard, non-porous surfaces you've already got. Your door frames, your window frames, even picture frames hanging on the wall. Anywhere flies like to rest their little feet. Now, a word of caution, because this matters. This bait is labeled for safety, and that label is there for a reason. Always keep it well out of reach of children and pets, and place your stations up high or in spots your kids and animals simply can't get to. Cost-wise, you're talking just a few dollars for a bottle that'll make you dozens of these stations, lasting you the whole season. Now here's where we get to the real secret, the part that actually stops the problem before it starts. Because here's a truth almost nobody talks about. For every fly you kill inside your house, there might be 100 more breeding just outside your door, in your trash, your compost, your yard. If you don't deal with that, you're fighting a losing battle forever. This is where the old-timers had the right idea. even if their tools were cruder. They knew you had to draw the flies away from the house entirely. Give them someplace better to be than your kitchen window. Today, you can build a wonderfully effective version of that using a simple bucket trap. Here's what you need. A plastic bucket with a lid. A 5-gallon bucket works perfectly, and you probably already have one sitting in your garage. A rescue fly trap funnel attachment, which fits right into the lid. Some fly attractant. You can buy the packets made for this. Or, and this is the old farmhouse trick, use rotten eggs. That's right. A couple of eggs left out until they turn, cracked into the bucket. Work as well as anything you'll buy in a store. Add water to the mix, which helps release the smell and gives the attractant time to work. Set the funnel into the lid, seal up your bucket, and place it well away from your doors and windows, ideally right near your garbage cans or wherever flies already tend to gather outside. That's important. You want this trap competing with, and winning against, whatever else is drawing flies toward your home. Here's why it works so well. Flies are drawn in by that smell. They crawl or fly down through the funnel chasing it. But once they're inside the bucket, they can't figure out how to get back up and out through that narrow funnel opening. It's a one-way door. Over days and weeks, that bucket fills up with adult flies that would otherwise have been out there laying eggs around your property. You're not just killing flies, you're stopping the next generation before it ever hatches. Cost is next to nothing. A bucket you likely already own, a funnel attachment that runs just a handful of dollars, and eggs you'd otherwise be throwing out anyway. That's about as frugal as pest control gets. There's a third trick, one that goes back generations, and it costs practically nothing. Herb bundles. Flies absolutely hate the smell of certain plants. Basil, mint, lavender, and bay leaves in particular. Your great-grandmother didn't need a spray bottle. She just kept pots of basil on her windowsill and hung little bundles of dried lavender near her doors. The reason it works is simple. Flies find their food through scent, and strong herbal oils overwhelm and confuse that sense of smell, so they simply steer clear. To do this yourself, tie a few sprigs of fresh mint and basil together with kitchen twine and hang the little bundle near your windows, your porch, or your back door. Refresh it every week or two as it dries out and the scent fades. Total cost, maybe $2 or $3 for a small potted herb plant that'll keep producing all season long. And finally, one more old standby, the apple cider vinegar trap, for those stray flies still buzzing around your kitchen even with everything else in place. Take a mason jar, pour in a ½ inch of apple cider vinegar, add a drop of dish soap, and stir gently. Cover the top with plastic wrap, poke a few small holes in it with a toothpick, and set it on your counter. The vinegar smells like a ripe, fermenting fruit to a fly. Irresistible. They crawl down through those little holes chasing the scent, but the dish soap breaks the surface tension of the liquid, so once they land, they can't get back out. By morning, you'll see exactly how many flies you were sharing your kitchen with. Total cost, pennies, using stuff already sitting in your pantry. Now, you might wonder why your grandparents' generation leaned so heavily on tricks like these, instead of running to the store for a spray can. Truth is, back then, folks didn't have the luxury of buying a new solution every season. They had to make do with what was on the farm, in the pantry, or growing in the garden. And in doing that, they landed on methods that didn't just kill the flies you could see. They broke the whole cycle, from egg to adult, at almost no cost at all. That's really the difference between old wisdom and modern convenience. A can of spray kills what's in front of you today, but drawing flies away from your home, disrupting where they breed, and making your house smell like the last place on earth a fly wants to be. That's a strategy, not a quick fix. And it's exactly why so many of these old methods still outperform what's sitting on the shelf at your local store, generations later. So there you have it, 4 old-fashioned, dirt-cheap ways to take back your home from flies, without filling your kitchen with harsh chemicals or spending a fortune doing it. Combine that indoor bait station with the outdoor bucket trap, and you've got yourself a long-lasting 1-2 punch that keeps your home cleaner and a whole lot more comfortable, all summer long. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment down below and let me know which of these methods you're trying first, the bait station, the bucket trap, the herb bundle, or the vinegar jar. And if you've got an old family trick of your own for keeping flies out, share it. I read every single one of them. If flies have been driving you crazy, just wait. Next time, I'm going to show you the forgotten trick our great-grandparents used to keep ants out of the house for good. without a single chemical. So make sure you're subscribed, so you don't miss it. Because the truth is, the answers to most of what's bothering you around your home were already figured out 100 years ago. We just stopped asking the people who knew.